Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show with the Goon Squad, Black Thor, Ice Water, and yours truly, Puma. We're going to go right to the NBA playoffs. And Black, give me your eye test on the playoffs thus far. Second round, baby.
It's getting good, baby. It's getting real good. I'm so happy for the NBA in this sense that it's not dominated by an old name, somebody that's been around for a long period of time. I'm surprised ESPN is not on life support, to be honest with you, because I know they don't have much to talk about because one person's not in it. But to me, these playoffs, man, Boston, Milwaukee, bro, that's what the theater and the drama to me you want to have in playoffs. One game from the next is totally different. I think Milwaukee came out their first game and did what they had to do. To me, Boston, people say they weren't ready. I don't think that was the case. I just think that Boston didn't kind of take Milwaukee serious. They kind of had an easy way with Brooklyn. They came in thinking, we're Boston Celtics. We're going to roll right through this. And Milwaukee came in there without Middleton and said, you know what? It's not going to be an easy series. But I will say this, game two, and I love him. I think he's, without a doubt, in my opinion, probably the best player in the NBA at this point, the Greek Freak. But he showed me something last night in game two that I didn't like. When they basically D'd him, he didn't want the ball. He stopped fighting for the first two quarters. He did not fight and go out there to try to be who he was. It wasn't until the third quarter. People say it wasn't about adjustment. It was here mentally. Maybe he woke up in the third quarter. He started changing his game based on a single man D'ing him. And to me, for them to be what they need to be this year and go on and win it, he can't do that for a minute, a quarter, or nothing. So I think that's going to be interesting. I like the fact that the playoffs are showing that you have some young guns in this league, bro. Young guns, even in Memphis, last night, or game two with the Memphis Grizzlies against Golden State. We go in, Curry steps in the court. It's all about him. No, not anymore, bro. You got some young guns in these teams ready to step up and handle the NBA. And in that sense, the NBA is in a good position. I like how Phoenix is basically doing what they should with Dallas. He's going to let what's-name score his points. Go on and get your 40, but you're not going to win. Get 80 if you want to, but you're not going to win. And they're kind of basically showing that they mentally can basically beat you and don't have to beat you on the court. But overall, man, the play is real good. Miami, for the most part, is Miami. They're doing what they're supposed to do. At this point here, I'm starting to wonder, too, looking at Philly, is Doc going to get a pass because Joel Embiid is not playing for the first two games? He may not play other games in the series as well. Are we going to judge him, or is he going to be judged based on that fact and say, well, maybe he didn't have his leading horse, he couldn't do? But even if Embiid was there, I don't think they have enough for Miami. I don't think they would have enough for Miami. Miami's a tough team, bro, top to bottom. That head coach is extremely has this team well prepared. And that's another thing about these playoffs I like. We're seeing some coaches, some different coaches, young coaches, are doing some things, and they're basically out there coaching their ass off. So for me, I'm enjoying the NBA playoffs. And I can't tell you the last time I've said that. I mean, I may have watched, but literally enjoy them. Well, I'm anticipating the games coming up, bro. I was excited to see the second game, the first game and the second game between Boston and Milwaukee. And I can honestly tell you, I may have been watching them over the years, but it's been a while since I've been excited to turn on an NBA playoff game and anticipate it throughout the day. You remember back in the day we grew up watching sports or the playoffs? When you knew a game was coming on later that night, all day, man, it was in the back of your mind. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm going to prepare. I'm going to do this. I got that feeling again for the NBA playoffs, man. I love it.
Oh, wow. Ice, I'm looking at these playoffs, and I'm looking at the Phoenix-Dallas series, and I text you guys about Luka Doncic, and I'm just not agreeing with how they're using him. I'm surprised that Jason Kidd's using him that way. It's like he's holding the ball anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds every possession, trying to play point guard. He won't pass the ball. He's just looking for a shot. Everybody else is standing around. I don't think Dallas is quick enough to handle Phoenix in that series. Golden State and Memphis, I think the experience of Memphis is going to kick me in the butt. It may go 6, it may go 7 games. But I was talking to somebody and they were saying, well, Golden State not going to make it out the series. I said, Golden State went up there and took care of their business. Usually when you have home court advantage, you want to keep home court advantage and win 2 games. Golden State split and they got home court advantage now. So that's what they wanted to do. It's a business trip. With Phoenix and Miami, Philadelphia and Miami, James Harden, to me, he's going to be James Harden. He's just going to be James Harden. And then Milwaukee and Boston, with Smart going down, you would think that Milwaukee would take advantage of that defensive guy just going after him. And maybe they let the guards down in the second game. and they got the split also, but they let their guards down, and Boston took it to them last night.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. It's a different type of situation as far as the league is concerned right now in the playoffs. When you look at, you mentioned Phoenix and Dallas. You mentioned about Luka Doncic. It's one of them things, though. You know, they're looking at Luka as a primary scorer. You mentioned like Jason Kidd letting him be the primary threat. But the problem with that is when he goes cold or they double team him like that, nobody's ready to play. Brunson is, there. They need Brunson to step up, some other guys too. But if nobody does, then they're in trouble. The other part of it too, I said it from the beginning, is the fact that Luka's a hell of a player, but Luka's out of shape, man.
Yeah.
Luka's out of shape. He don't play defense like he's supposed to. And that's what I think is going to hurt them against Phoenix, because Phoenix has some ballers. And even if Chris Paul's not playing well, you bring back guys that are running and they're feeling it. They know what it's like to be there before again. So I think that's going to be the edge that Phoenix has. They've already been there. They know what it's like to go deep, and they're not going to let one guy beat them. I just don't see that happening. So I see Phoenix moving forward, doing what they had to do. Plus, they got some veterans, too. Somebody was telling me, I didn't know such and such was on that squad. I was like, dude, they're going deep right now. Monty Williams is going back to the old 90s type situation where you just, we're back when the Bulls picked up James Edwards, even though he played for the Bad Boys. You just like, I didn't know Cartwright was on that squad. You just throw him, you stashing dudes. You don't even know who the hell on the squad. You're like, he ain't played all year. He's playing right now. That's all that matters. He's playing, doing playoff basketball. And that's what Monty Williams is doing. I think it's going to help them down the road. Miami, Philly, man, look, you can say what you want to. Joel Embiid, okay, I know everybody wants to say he's the MVP. He might be. That's what you want to say. But we mentioned before, I told you I got off that James Harden trip. I told you right in the nick of time, because he was, doing what he's always done. And they need, again, I said, much you clown the trade with Simmons and thinking, Harden came over there, they lost a lot of key players. Seth Curry over on that is what was happening on that squad. He can hit those shots. You put Maxey in a position where you're asking him to do a lot. You ask a lot of guys to do some things that they're not really capable of. And like I said, Curry may not be the greatest player, but he could hit those shots. And now Harden's not on, even though the younger players, Maxey, other guys are playing real hard, you're saying to yourself, how can we hold on and deal with Miami? Because once you get Butler's head right, and Butler get his mind right, and not mad at the coach, or even if he's using his energy against the coach to play against the way he can, the rest of them guys are balling. I mean, Hero's hitting shots, and Bam is just Bam. And when you don't have Embiid in that middle, man, Bam was like, bruh, you got them reserves, ain't gonna get it. So, and Miami, they playing strong. I think they mad. You mentioned about Doc Rivers getting another shot. He might, but I see this as a way for them, as an excuse, as I said before, for them to clear it out. I mean, granted, you go with Doc, yeah, but if we had Embiid, you still wouldn't have got us through. So I see this as a way for them to open the door. It's an excuse for them to go, we're going to get you out, bring our man in, and I don't know what the hell going to happen from there. Philadelphia's going to be pissed off. But, Harden is hilarious, man. He must have a hell of a psycho analyst or somebody that's feeding and telling him it's going to be okay, James. You just keep trying, and if it doesn't work, don't worry about it. Because he come off like it don't even matter. He just shooting them jumpers. And I'm sitting there going like, dude, that would drive me freaking crazy. And Miami they're balling. Moving forward on with Golden State, Memphis, what can you say? Moran is balling. Memphis is balling overall. I think they just need to try to keep Brooks under wraps, man. Brooks is a mean dude, bro. I always liked him. He's a tough guy, but he got to learn how to stay in control and stay in the game. Because these flagrant fouls, a.k.a. Jack Tripper, all this stuff, you got to stay in the game, bro, because they need all the help they can get right now. Because Golden State, it's the old guard, and we're going to find out about Memphis. I mean, these early games, they're important. Ja dropping, 47 to win that game. But in the end, the question is, are they going to be able to push through and hang if they go deep? And Golden State's old as hell, according to our standards. It's bizarre to even say that with these guys when we remember they were super young. But it'll be interesting to see, can Memphis hang on? And if they do not come through against Golden State, they're going to have to look in the offseason to get stronger. But I like the way that they're competing. They're doing some good things, and I'm impressed by that. And lastly, Milwaukee and Boston. I mean, Milwaukee are the defending champions. Boston got past Brooklyn. They put them to sleep, put them down. And now it's like, okay, you got to go against the defending champions. Milwaukee came out, put it on them early in the first game. You're like, ooh, okay, what's going on? I was like, did Boston fall asleep? Or they scared? Or they just happy because they beat Brooklyn? And then game 2 was like, and the thing is too, Middleton's missing. And it's like, y'all better step up. Okay, you lose Smart or whatever. But it's like, where's the team that we just saw just physically dominate Brooklyn? That's the team I was looking for. And they kind of showed up with that, last night. It's going to be interesting because if Middleton, did they say Middleton's coming back or do you know?
I'm not sure.
You better make it back for this series.
Oh, so see, but if I'm Boston, if I'm the coach, I'm like, look, I know they got the Greek Freak. Everybody say the greatest player right now and everything, but look, man, this is our shot. This is our shot. We won one. Let's get them. Make them beat us. Make them beat us. And, Blackthorn mentioned, something he didn't like was the fact of watching that Giannis got a little tight. I'll be all up on that. I'm like, look, as a team that has finally come into its own and Boston has already went past what people had thought, when they beat Brooklyn. I'm like, look, man, this is another step. Let's get these dudes, bro. Let's use their fire. See, to me, that's what real good coaches do. The other team may be defending champions, and they might have you where everybody think they have you. But then you tell your team, look, man, that DAWG come out, they might be better than us on paper, but mentally, if they not ready, we're going to whoop that. We taking it. And I think that's what's wrong with basketball and sports right now. You got to know when you got an edge, bro. They got that game 1-1. Everything is straight up and down now, 0-0 again. Let's get it, bro. Let's get it. I'm telling you, you beat Brooklyn, you beat Durant. I mean, oh boy, gonna get his. We know that. But other than that, I mean, hey, make them win it. Make somebody else beat us. And if not, we believe we got it. We did it against Brooklyn. Why can't we do the same thing against Milwaukee? Because they're not the same squad. Say what you want to without Middleton. Middleton's a different dude, bro. He's a silent assassin. He makes them a better team and makes them a different. I mean, he's a difference maker at the right time. And can Giannis do that again, or is he going back to missing free throws in the clutch? Anyway, I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I was going to add, man, about the Harden thing, which is interesting because I think, I said it about a week ago that they want D'Antoni, and the Hornets are looking at D'Antoni as bringing him in. And I think the thing is, I think this general manager that Philly brought, I'm not sure why they brought him in, but realistically, he's like I said, he wrecked his team, the players that he gave up, and then Harden, I believe, is due a new contract after this year. So to me, if you sign Harden, I know he's in love with Harden. I mean, I think they're in bed together sometimes. But if you give Harden a 3-year contract, bro, after what he's showing you in these months and feeling, you're wrecking that team. And even if you bring in D'Antoni as a head coach, the center cannot get up and down the court like that, bro. He can't run up and down the court. So you're looking at your team and basing everything on Harden, where he cannot run up and down the court like that. You don't have that type of squad. So to me, it's going to be a great general managing thing for him, because if he basically, what he does in the offseason, because they're not going to win the championship, with that team is going to say a lot. Because if you build that team or you do some things to make it easier for Harden, bro, you're going to win a lot of games in the regular season. I might give you that, but you're not going anywhere. Same way you did in Houston. You're not going anywhere. Everyone knows. I mean, we saw this years ago with Harden. I think we saw this the first year was in Houston, how he kind of died down. He has done nothing in the playoffs where you should want to put a team or trade for him. I don't care. He's done nothing where you want to kind of basically trade for him. And it's funny, I was watching TV this morning, man, and people was trying to downplay that hit that Brooks put on Peyton Jr. last night. Bro, I'll be honest with you. I think the NBA should suspend him for a game or two. Because to me, that's like old-fashioned mental, forget the flagrant too. What he did to that cat was uncalled for, bro. He ran up and got up in the air. I know he wasn't playing the ball. There's no way he could have played the ball. So I did like the first game of Boston where the referees were letting them play like it was in the 80s. They weren't going to call that ticky-tack and foul, going to get physical. And these players, if you go back and watch that game, half the time the Boston players are like this. Guess what? Because you're not used to it. That's how basketball used to be played. When you got to the playoff, yeah, the refs, if it wasn't blatant, they put the whistles away, bro. Learn to play it, but they're not used to that. Every time they're going for a layup, they're looking like, no. Back in the day, If they didn't smack your hand hard or whatever, or they made a noise, you foul. You were foul. But they going now and they touch somebody. Oh, it's just like, And that's what NBA is. But I love the first game of the Celtics, of the Bucks. The refs was like, we don't see nothing. Play. And to me, that's how playoff basketball should be.
Yeah, it should be a playoff fight. I think Doc Rivers is done after this year, especially if they lose the series, even if they go on and win the series. The simple fact that you had Embiid in with a 20-plus point lead, you had the game settled. You don't need to have that big. And it's something that Picho said to me a long time ago when we were talking about a few weeks ago. It's like Doc Rivers doesn't have good clock management when it comes to his players. And so that was real bad clock management. Your team has the game won. His excuse was they had their front line and they had this. No, you got a 20 plus lead. Take the big dude out. Now, if they cut it down to 10, okay, push him back in. But you had the game won and you had the big guy out and he's valuable. But I think they're going to use that as saying, you know what? He wasn't in because of your poor clock management.
I would say something, man. I'm glad you said that because I heard an interview. I forgot who said it, but I heard something this week. They was talking about Rondo. They talked to, it might have been Jay Williams. He said that they talked to Kevin Garnett. He said he talked to Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce when they were going for their championship. And they said half the time, Rondo will be coaching the floor. Doc would tell him what to do. Rondo would basically go, whatever Doc said, he knew better and did. And that's how they wanted to think about that for a second. He said Rondo was the coach that basically, and that's why Doc used to get mad at him because he would say something and Rondo would be like, he said, got to the point where Garnett and Pierce started listening to Rondo. Think about that for a second. That's deep, bro. Yeah. That right there, and that's well known. I was like, damn. Woo.
Two other NBA stories that came out. Rudy Gobert, after Utah lose their game, there's a story that a reporter came out that Rudy is kind of saying, hey, it's either me or Donovan that one of us got to go. And so hopefully this is not true, Ice, because it would be Rudy Gobert if I had anything to say with it. And Phil Jackson is stepping back into Lakerland, and he's going to play a significant role involving the coaching search. So pick either story or both stories and roll with it, bro.
Well, I'm gonna jump with the Phil Jackson thing real quick. I'm gonna make this very quick on that mark. People kill me with these modern day reporters. Phil Jackson is back into the fold. He always been in the damn phone. What y'all talking about? He got a phone. As long as him and Jeannie they can connect. He can be at the house, allegedly getting the fuck on, piping it up. But you think she ain't gonna call him when it's going crazy because you don't know what else to do. You can say what you want to. He may not be a great general manager, but he knows how to deal with people, and he was a decent coach when he had great players. He knew how to win. So he always on speed dial, bro. I mean, they may not be together no more or whatever they doing, whatever, how they passing the time on Christmas or whatever, but he always in the fold. Dude. When they say, oh, did you hear Phil Jackson? Phil Jackson always in the fold. Long as she on the team, Phil Jackson gonna be available as a consultant to her personally. Straight up, man, he killed me with that. Oh, did you, man, this ain't magic. It's Phil Jackson, bro. They got a thing, look, he said, we got a thing going on, like me and Mrs. Jones. That thing don't never go away. They got a thing. Well, you know how it is. You just got a thing with somebody. You be married with 4 kids, you're still like, you all right? Yeah, I'm good. Okay, I gotta go. Anyway, but I'm just saying, it's just a thing, bro. But the other story, when you think about, it's like you said, Phil Jackson is doing this. What was the other story? I done lost my
Rudy Gobert.
Okay, right. Rudy, sorry about that.
He said either it's me or Donovan.
Hey, don't y'all get old, man. You see what just happened. I even faked it like I was smoking and my brain cells went somewhere. I had a flashback. They got a contact. I'm like, damn. Like, oh, shit. That was back in the day, like, when it was good, too. Anyway. Yeah. Say no to drugs, y'all. But the Utah situation and Rudy Gobert and Mr. Donovan Mitchell, Hey, here's the thing, man. They know us some strife, even back to the point when we went back to the bubble, and they thought Gobert was playing around because he didn't think COVID was serious, and he was touching the mic like, "I got it. Yeah, I'm gonna give you the cooties." And Mitchell was like, "Dude." So that goes back a few years. Everybody knows it, and yeah, I mean, I think it's time for to break it up. Okay, because you've been saying that they were good enough at least to make it a couple rounds. If you didn't make the final, the Western Conference Finals, you should at least make it to the second round, and they did not. I mean, you got Mike Conley, just let Mike Conley waste away. He's getting older, but they simply are not playing the same way. If you want to keep doing that, you can blame Quinn Snyder, right? But then again, if you blame Quinn Snyder, you bring somebody else, you still can get the same result if guys are not on the same page. They don't want to play together. So if I had to make a decision, I'm definitely going to go with Mitchell. Rudy Gobert doesn't do enough for me. I mean, he might swat shots. He can be a difference maker on the defense end sometimes. But Mitchell, I think you got to get Mitchell's mindset right, too. I'm not saying he's a quitter, but I think that in the right situation where it's a healthy atmosphere, he'll give you a lot more. You'll just see him be more relaxed. And he and Rudy Gobert have been going back and forth on this situation. And everybody's saying that it's no big deal, but it is a big deal. Because if it wasn't a big deal and you can just learn how to play with a guy, even though you may not like him, then you wouldn't be going out. They have enough talent. There's no way in hell they shouldn't win out the first round. And I say that people are like, well, it was Dallas that they lost to in the first round. Am I correct? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, they have enough players. I mean, you sitting there watching Luka shoot like, I mean, Mike Conley's still one of the best veteran point guards in this league, and they just did not play. I mean, together. We've watched Donovan Mitchell in the bubble. You watch him play. You watch Rudy Gobert do his other thing. They have some other players too. And it's like, there's no way in hell I thought they should have lost to Dallas. So I think they should break up the team, make a decision, make some good, solid choices, get something for him now when you get, don't just, unless he's a unrestricted free agent, get something major for him, get a haul coming back, some draft picks, and start to build the team around Donovan Mitchell.
Black, what are your thoughts on this, man? Because I've been saying for the last few weeks, I've been saying for the last couple of years that Rudy Gobert is, he's a waste. He's a waste of 7'2" height. He gives you nothing on the offensive end. And what teams have been doing is exploiting him. Basically, they're not allowing him to defend in the paint. They just get a stretch 4 or stretch 5, pull him out on the perimeter, and make him look like he's doing the Flavor Flav dance out there and just embarrass him. So I'm surprised that he would even, or the reporter who came out with it, would even say, it's either got to be me or him, because this is a no-brainer, in my opinion.
I'll say this, man. I think realistically, all three need to get up out of it, to be honest with you. And it's going to be hard for the Utah Jazz fans. Utah have always had centers that never gave you much. Let's be honest, man. If we go back and look at the history, they always had centers that can give you nothing. Rudy Gobert speaks like, remember a couple of years ago, he was crying to his mama. He didn't make the All-Star team. I think he thinks he's Wilt Chamberlain in disguise. I honestly believe that. He sees himself bigger than what he is, and I don't know much you can give for him. I don't think Quinn Snyder is much of a head coach. I'll be honest with you. I think he came from college. He landed in a good spot. He's been there for a while. He hasn't seen it. As much as I like Mitchell don't have any dog in him, bro. I'm just going to be point blank honest. He just doesn't. He's good when the flames is nice and bright. But when the flames go dark, or start to go a little dark, he disappears, bro. So my point is, you're going to have to bring somebody, you got to bring some people around him. And I like his talent. But I don't know mentally I want to build around him. I'm being honest. I don't know mentally if I really want to build. To me, you bring in another head coach. You got maybe a 5-year plan. You grab draft picks for the both of them. I'm sorry. Start and build. Maybe bring some free agents in, start to build and build a different culture, because Utah needs a totally different culture. Because to me, they've been coming back the same year and being coached the same year. They got players that play out of position. And again, when it's bright, they're hitting these 3-pointers, and they're smacking high five. But it's the same old stuff every year. So to me, even if you get rid of Gobert and you bring someone else in, it's the same formula, bro. And I don't know why, but his name, the head coach of Utah, popped as a potential head coach for the Lakers, but I think it's stupid. But to me, that triangle has to go. Utah need to start all over. They have to bring in a different mindset. Someone's going to coach up some players and bring in some players that have some grit to them. And what's the name? That's just not him. Mitchell, that's just not him. Mitchell, we fell in love with him 3 or 4 years ago. What has he done since then? When he's not hurt, realistically, we keep waiting for his potential to go. And you look at the guard that's with Memphis. This league been every year. You look at what's the name from the freak week. You see something different. Mitchell's been there a while. you look at he's going to project, he doesn't go anywhere. He stays right here, bro. And I think that's his ceiling, because I don't think he's tough right here. I don't understand where ESPN, let me say this first. Congratulations on the show. Get Up. I think finally you have something you can build on that show. I love it. I'll be honest with you. I love the show. Like Greenberg, the way Hammer, the talent, get on. I love the fact that a lot of people come on there and speak their mind. No filter. Say what you want to say. Let it rip. Love it. Wojciechowski, to me, I could do that job, bro. He states the obvious. Who doesn't know Phil Jackson's part of the Lakers or part of the season? Like I said, who doesn't know? You act like this is breaking news. Even the other guy that have the big fat white guy, I ain't afraid to say it. He says nothing. They hired this guy to travel around with LeBron. What do you do? Eat all the time? I mean, because they say they are captains of stating the obvious all the time. Captain Obvious. They give you no barebacks what's going on in the NBA. When you could know something, they'll come on and act like, yeah, I found it. No, you did, bro. We know that already. That's not reporting. So I'm thinking this. I will say this about Jeannie. I love the fact when she stepped up and told LeBron during the All-Star, you're here for another year, bro. Shut that talk up about Cleveland. And if you notice, too, I think they decided after that Westbrook debacle, LeBron ain't got nothing to do with his coaching decision. He has nothing. They ain't leaning on him, whatever the case may be. But I will say this, Jenny, if you're listening, I'm hoping that you are, look at what Phil did in New York. Yeah. Just look what he did in New York. Yeah. Go back. He's a great coach. He knows people. He can evaluate talent. But putting together, and I'll say the same thing about Magic Johnson, putting together a structure of a team, don't lean on them. I don't think everybody's not good at everything, and we assume that they are. Look at the Charlotte Hornets. Michael Jordan been owning them for years. What has that team done? Some things you're good at something and it doesn't transfer over. So Phil, excellent head coach. Executive, general manager, that's not his calling. That's just not. I mean, look what Pat Riley does. He wants to be a Pat Riley. He has no idea of what to put a team together. So I know you two, like I said, I agree with that too. Because once you've been together that tight, you're always together. You go, pick up the phone. I would not put much value in what he says as far as picking a head coach. Just my personal opinion. And Wojciechowski, do a real reporter job, bro. Come out with some stuff. Talk about some things that we are not privy to find out. Stuff that's going on behind the scenes. That's what I want to turn on TV. That's why I want to turn the radio on here. I don't want to hear about simple stuff that I can basically see myself and know is the obvious and act like you've done some hardcore reporting. No, you sat in office for 5 minutes and came with that story, bro. I'm not impressed.
All right, let's move on to the NFL draft. Wasn't an exciting draft, Black. It wasn't an exciting draft where you're kind of looking at, to me, it wasn't. Bro. Because it seemed like, to me, the NFL teams are like, you know what? We had it with picking quarterbacks in the first round and paying all this money and them dudding out. They went defense, offensive linemen. They went anything but quarterback. But one of the stories that kind of bothered me a lot is Tannehill with the Tennessee Titans coming out and saying, hey, I'm not going to be mentor to this guy. Bruh, after the season you had in the playoff, we haven't forgot about the playoffs. First play of the game, throwing an interception and really costing your team a game. That's why they picked this quarterback. And you ain't got to mentor him. I believe by midseason, if you keep playing like that, this brother's going to be in the starting lineup. But your thoughts on the draft, bro?
I'm going to say this first, man. I thought the draft was excellent, bro. It was better than I think I said a couple of weeks ago or last week. Coming up to it, I wasn't impressed what was going on. But I know sometimes we want the big titties shaking. Feel like we. I understand that. I get that. We need that as men. That's what we need, bro. We need all that going on. to feel like we got something. But if you look at what some of these teams did, bro, if you look at what Detroit did, that needs help. If you look at if you look at what basically the Giants did in the first 2 rounds, I didn't follow them beyond that. What the New York Jets did, it's what the draft is basically made for. The draft is made for these lower echelon teams that aren't good to solidify their foundation, to become stronger, to be a stronger team to basically compete. And I think a lot of these teams did that. I's gonna love this, man. Look at the receiver. I can't maybe say his name right now. Olave, I might be saying it, from Ohio State.
Yeah, Olave.
The land. Look where in New Orleans, Jason, right now, what's his name? The quarterback should be like, damn, you get him and that what's his name? Bro, that offense, that offense done went from here to right here. They did a couple of things on defense. So it's like, if you look at it from a team perspective, I think, yeah, the draft was, man, it may not have the bells and whistles, but if you look at it from basically X and O's, what teams really need and how they kind of did some things. And to me, Tiny, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I have no idea. Like you said, I don't. You couldn't basically mentor me if I got drafted as a quarterback because you're not a good quarterback. But I will say this. I think Phoenix, not another team, Philadelphia, and getting that receiver, bro, I'm here to tell you, man. I think that cat wanted out of Tennessee anyway, due to Tannehill. I really do, because he gave them, I think they said he wanted like $80 million guarantee, he wanted $100 million contract. He wanted $80 million of guaranteed. He wasn't accepting nothing less, which he knew they wasn't going to do. So in essence, he forced his hand because he took the same contract with Philly with 51 guaranteed.
Yeah.
So he knew he just wanted to get away from Tannehill. And I say this real quick. It's no surprise that the quarterback in Cleveland is still there because no one wants him, bro. When you have all those receivers that you had that talent, they put around you in a running back, and no one of them like you. None of them like you. You got someone's father getting them to another team. You saw what's the name we got to LA. Man, he just got drafted. So my point is, these execs see this. They know this. So when anybody line up, and I think Cleveland actually is going to basically make him back up what's him, because we already know Shashan ain't playing for the first 6 games. We're paying you. You're going out there, you ain't going to get paid. So don't be surprised if he stays right in that uniform and he goes out there and play for the first 6 games. I think a lot of teams did well. Some teams they needed to. But I'm going to say this, but I thought this was very funny. I don't know if you guys caught this, because the Dallas Cowboys draft, their first round draft pick.
Yeah.
I remember you text me, but you text me. You text me like that's a flag waiting to happen.
Penalty waiting to happen. Yeah.
Yes. It was so funny because they caught a lot of flack on that pick. The next day they did a press conference, and Jerry Jones, I don't know if Jerry Jones was losing with this case going with his daughter, or the case may be, but he took their draft sheet and he held it up. And so like, no, Dad, don't show that. He was kind of So Jerry Jones might be out there, bro. He might be on his way. And I'll wrap it up with this. I'm sick and tired of Aaron Rodgers myself, bro. And Aaron Rodgers got to realize at some point, you don't run the team. Yeah, they're going to draft a receiver, all that stuff. But when you want to take up all the money, you can't do it. You have no say, bro. You have no say. They're not running how to get you receivers. They got to do what they got to do to build the team for the future. If they think it's defense, that's their right to do so. It's not all about your little sissy ass. I'm going to say it point blank. And everybody doesn't live in Green Bay to basically make you happy. As a quarterback, if you couldn't win in your home, seriously, in your home against San Francisco on your field when it's cold, in the playoff game, you don't deserve a new receiver. You don't deserve nothing nice. Take your money, and they don't give you money because they want to keep you around because they want the fans to kind of still be there. But whether you have realized it's not, Green Bay is beyond you, bro, because they realize what we all realize. You can't win another big one. You're not going to win another big one. That's it. But they realize right now that quarterback, if they put him in, the fans will not be there. They will lose this. So what they're paying you is to make sure they can maintain this until he's ready. Understand that. And in Pittsburgh, to me, if you're so high on Trubisky, if you were so high on him.
They weren't.
No, it's a lie. You're so high. Why do you want to draft this guy in the first round?
Yeah, stopgap. I missed the bumps and breasts on the draft. I've never seen them before, but I might have gone by, going to the bathroom during commercials and stuff. What's your eye test of the NFL draft?
Well, I mean, sometimes when somebody finally gets it right, you got to give them love, and you got to give love to the Jets. GM Joe Douglas, man, he was right on point. It was like, is this the Jets? Are we watching the Jets making these draft picks? He like, where the hell is the Jets? They first you jump up, get a cornerback in Ahmad Gardner, who's considered like the best guy in that position. Then you drop down to 10, get one of my favorite players in Garrett Wilson from the Ohio State University. Just running, moving forward, can catch the ball in space, make some things happen for them. Then they go back and they get back. They may trade back up into the first round, picking up a Jermaine Johnson, pass rusher from Florida State. I'm like, what are they doing? Are they really going to fill all the needs on the sheet? Like, damn. And then they move back, and then they grab Breece Hall, running back from Iowa State. And they're like, why a running back? Why not a running back? They get this going on, and then finally they ended up, which really was major. I think it was in the third round. You go out and you picked up Jeremy Rucker. He's a tight end from Ohio State, probably one of the best blocking tight ends who can catch balls too. So they're all over the place. It's like, damn, they feel some real needs. Now, they're moved to the point where the quarterback, they talked about how much they love him, how talented he is. We're going to find out. Because now you got some weapons. So you can't keep going back and going, well, you know, if we had this and this guy didn't have any, you got receivers, you got playmakers, you got guys that are going to make things happen, going to play their position well. And now the quarterback is going to have to line up and show that he's worthy. I hope it works for them because the GM, Joe Douglas, did a hell of a job. I'm impressed. Nothing else, they look good on paper. They didn't look good on paper in a long time. So I'm happy for them in that standpoint. They didn't have to go out and spend a lot of money trying to pick up no free agents. They used what was available to them, and hopefully it's going to make them better. You mentioned about Philadelphia. I think they did well picking up A.J. Brown. I mean, that was cool, major, you know, solidify him in there with your young quarterback, right? And then you already got, Smith over there too. So that's what they need. They also needed a defensive tackle. They filled that. Another offensive lineman. I think they were solid all the way around from that standpoint. Then people said that the Ravens had a good draft too. They got a safety, got a center, got an offensive tackle, and then 2 tight ends. I'm like, okay, that's all well and good, but damn, you trade Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
What? I mean, I know I told y'all before, and y'all thought I was joking, but when the former Texans coach was there and they could not pass the ball, so what you want a 3 tight end set? I mean, what the hell you gonna do? I mean, what you want Lamar Jackson to do? And you can't tell me that he was happy about that situation. So Hollywood Brown, and they talk about, well, he was small, he always couldn't get open, other stuff like, but he was catching passes. When your tight end, Mr. Andrews, was the MVP of the damn league, in my opinion, you're gonna be doing that the rest of Lamar Jackson's life. You can't get nobody else. Every time they bring a wide receiver, they don't use the wide receiver. That's gonna get old with him running, man. It's gonna get old. They're going to catch up to him, and people going to go, now what? And he's going to start getting hurt. And then it's kind of like they did when everybody's talking about how Cam Newton was able to run for a while. Once they got the MO on him and he couldn't do it anymore, everybody talking about him declining. He's going to start looking mad and looking frustrated and looking at the sourpuss face. It's one of them things, man. I'm just trying to tell you that I don't understand the strategy behind it. I mean, they try to play old school football, but you putting your and you got pretty good running backs, but you're putting your quarterback at risk because at some point in this game, you're going to have to learn how to throw the ball. Also, real quick, mentioned about Green Bay. I mean, I get it. You know, they do what they do. They got rid of they let Adams roll. You got rid of him because he didn't want to be there or whatever. But they went and moved some players, and I understand about getting ready for the future. But shit, if you're trying to win now, bruh, I'm just saying, he ain't got nobody to throw the ball to. Care what you say. He has nobody to throw the ball to. And I ain't saying that you got to play up to him, but he going to earn his paycheck this year. He going to damn sure. Because if he can win, if he can throw the ball like that and move the ball like that with those type players, he going to earn his money. You going to say, wow, he really is as good as we thought he was. But they're making it very damn difficult. They need to put that backup quarterback at wide receiver. That's how bad it is over there. I'm just trying to tell you. That's how they're rolling with it. But 2 last things real quick. Malik Willis, quarterback going to Tennessee. Perfect for Mike Vrabel, man. You know, you brought this guy in, and guy's hungry. He at the pool hall, wherever he was. Poor guy, you know, sitting there. Was at the draft the first day, second day. He's like, the hell with that, I'm out of here. Went to a pool hall, wherever he was, and some back in Legion Hall. Got picked, got the phone call. He came on there and got drafted and was ready to go. So I'm happy for him because I think he's going to get an opportunity. And Tennessee needs a mobile quarterback like that for the future. And the Cincinnati quarterback, is it Ritter? Just get picked up by Atlanta.
Yeah.
He came on there and said, look, man, I won the Super Bowl. I was like, calm down.
Like, wait, whoa.
Yeah. I guarantee you. But the one thing I like about him is he's hungry. He can play with the right situation. They end up picking up the big wide receiver, London. That was a little stretch for me, but they like big receivers. But I think he's going to, if Mariota does not rise to the occasion, he'll be ready to step in and do some things. So last but not least, as I say this, what I found out funny was, you know, they talked to Matt Ryan when he's in Indianapolis, right? And Matt Ryan was like, you know what? Damn, I probably could have been still chilling in Atlanta if Atlanta had not lost their damn mind going at Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
He said, I could have probably still been at home, chilling, not moving, and enjoying my country lifestyle and just seeing how things get ready for another 8-7 season. You know what I'm saying? I could have been doing that, or 8-8, whatever. But he said, no, I'm in Indianapolis and they want me, so we're going to roll with it. But I just found out it'd be ironic how Atlanta was just all set to bring Deshaun Watson home. They fell on their face, and the team that actually really went after him and then really go after him the same way ends up getting him. So it's going to be interesting, because I still don't understand how you expect Mariota to lead your squad. Bro ain't been there for a minute, and, you know, maybe that's why they got Ritter. Ritter's hungry, though. Ritter just, his girl just had a new baby. He got to put food on the table. So he coming out with
make that cash.
Yes, sir.
Cobra, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think Atlanta was a smart get rid of Ryan. Ryan been there for years, bro. And that I think since that Super Bowl loss, he has never been the same. My personal opinion. I think that whole team just needed to kind of scare. But I want to address something real quick for my point. What he said about the Ravens, Lamar Jackson. I'm almost to the point where Lamar might have to. It's funny in saying this, and I'm not totally sure. He might have to leave that team if they allow him to, because they're not setting him up for success. But when you say Brown wanted out or they traded Brown, Brown asked to be traded. Think about this for a second. That's his boy. Right. Yeah, boy. So Brown's seeing something where they're not going in the right direction. Yeah. And I don't know if they don't trust Lamar Jackson throwing the ball, but in the time when you got to throw, like I said, you're going back to old school 80s football, 4 yards in the back. I don't.
Trent Dilford offense, basically.
Yes. That's not going to get it now, bro. I understand you need a center. I totally get that. But at some point, especially when you see Denver, all these teams are starting to line up and do some things on the receivers end, and you're going to basically, I'm not knocking a center. You could have got him in the second round and get another center somewhere else and do something, but you got to give that offense something to hang Lamar on that he can throw, because he's looking at all these other quarterbacks, and basically what you tell him, like I said, hand it off for a run. It worked for one season. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how much it's going to work beyond this. I just don't know. I don't know. But one thing I will say real quick, I like how these teams now, like the Jets, Miami, a lot of these teams saying these quarterbacks, guess what? We're giving you tools. If you don't show up, we're going out of here. You're out of here. We're moving you. No longer you're young and experienced, because they're looking at these looking at other quarterbacks and the Chargers and all these quarterbacks in 1 or 2 years stepping up. And I don't know what Kyler Murray's thinking right now, because that bridge, I don't know if that bridge is burnt or whatever it is, but I don't know what he's thinking. And I don't care who they bring in. And then you got what's the name out? They're going to be out there for at least 6 weeks. He's doing PEDs.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cardinals, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's why he wanted to get traded, because he knew once he was going to get busted.
You know what it is?
When he got hurt.
They
went down the drain when he got hurt.
They feel real good, though, because they're bringing back AC Green.
Another NFL story real quick. I want to go to black with this one first. Remember, Hugh Jackson was coming up with all these allegations. Now they're saying there ain't enough there. What are your thoughts on this?
I'll be honest with you. Hugh Jackson is ass kicked. I'll be honest, bro. Hugh Jackson is ass kicked, because he blatantly, I'm saying this, my point right now. If you got something you put on the table, Hugh Jackson lied. Let's be honest. He just flat out lied because you saw somebody doing something you wanted to get your. Hugh Jackson just wanted attention, bro. If anything, you killed any chance that ever you come back and coach the NFL. I'll be honest with you. The cat that brought the lawsuit to get a job before you will. Hugh Jackson, you just couldn't coach, bro. You just couldn't coach. And then make up an allegation and have the NFL spend hard-earned money. They hired independent source to go, and there's nothing. I mean, no merit to it at all. Bro, you lied. Just flat out lie. And guess what? No one's blaming you. Cleveland was bad. No one's blaming for 2 years of not winning. But that's partly due to your coaching. It is, man, whether you want to see it or not. It's partly due to your coaching. When you got Bill Belichick and take a team with one hard time on his back, at least win 4 or 5 games a season. I mean, say you want about Belichick. Last year, when he knew that quarterback couldn't play, he wouldn't let him throw the ball. That's coaching. He wouldn't let him throw and won a game with him throwing the ball 4 or 5 times. So at some point, when you're losing, you got to find a way to win. But I know we need advanced black coaches, but bro, That was one of the dumbest ass things you could have done, in my opinion. To put your mouth out and say that, and you know it ain't true.
Yeah,
you know it ain't true.
I thought this story kind of went under the radar with everybody else, but I wanted to bring exposure to it because, you know, I thought this was this really hurt him as a coach, and it may hurt other Black coaches also.
Yeah, what I know is they putting up the stake. They driving in there and the stake in that damn case, bro. Because I'm trying to tell you, when you do that and you put it out on the forefront, all they were looking for with an independent, investigator as well. They looking like, well, you know, this independent, I don't have no skin in the game one way or the other. And now the NFL just like, you know what? We gave him a job. You still got this. We ain't fighting y'all. You gonna hire who you want to. We gonna get our people. And they like this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, you know, in that case, y'all just treating us horrible. And they're like, well, your man working in Pittsburgh. He getting a check. He ain't on Cobra. You know what I mean? Got a couple other people jumped on. And Hugh Jackson stuff is a total fabrication. They like, what else you want us to do? I mean, you know, yeah, okay, we're gonna adjust the Rooney Rule a little bit and require minority women to be checked out and everything too, you know, a little bit of this and that. What else y'all want us to do? What else y'all want us to do? Look, we had your African-American head coach, another African-American. So, you know, y'all feel good and everything. What else y'all want us to do? Y'all still complaining? What you want me to do? You want me to put Condoleezza Rice as the first female head coach? What you want me to do? Tell me what you want me to do. We getting ready for the season. Had a great jazz in Las Vegas. Everybody booed the commission. It don't matter to us. All we needed, y'all was smiling. It was turning them TVs on and everybody was jumping around and shaking some things, this Black Door thing. and the wheel keep turning, baby.
Yeah.
We'll keep turning. We keep turning, and that's all they care about. The shield is still shining. So NFL is one thing they're very smart about. Sometimes they are quiet and they let things happen, and then they go, did you see that?
Yeah.
They don't even make an announcement. They go, and you go, They get on the phone, they go, these motherfuckers done messed up again. We ain't got to say a damn word. Click, we're Kaepernick. Anyway, I'm just saying, man, that's how they roll, bro.
No, I agree with you. But at some point, Black coaches got to be smarter. And I say that to say, realistically, even with this lawsuit, this cat need to go talk to some other coaches that basically fall into the same program. And you got the coach he used to coach with Tony Dungy years ago. Everybody knows, you know, I mean, go talk to him, get opinions, you know what I mean? But to have them just say stuff that doesn't make sense, you got to strengthen and build a case. And my point is, just like anything else with Black, there's no unity. But that right there is a flat out lie. And another thing, man, this cat that got this case on, and to me, when you make an allegation as such, is this, the guy that's in Pittsburgh now, he said they offered him $100,000 for every loss. Bro, you got to back that up. I can say right now, Puma offered me $1 million to come on this show. You got to back it up. When you bring a charge like that or accuse someone, and I said this before in the show, that owner of the Dolphins, if you look at what he's done for diversity, if you're going to come and try to knock him off, you better come with some serious rocks that you can stand. Because that cat has a foundation in Miami. It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Like in movie Training Day, with Denzel Washington. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
Yes.
And so far, Flores hasn't proved any of the allegations. And that's why I'm saying, and this is really important, because he threw those things out there, then all of a sudden, he got a job and he's quiet.
I'm telling you, bro, that when he got that job, I was like, that's like you being mad at Black Thor, talking about you're gonna get rid of him, and then all of a sudden you said you make him the West Coast correspondent for the show. Black boy, that boy, he let me out the main stage, but he ain't nothing. But then again, Black Thor get quiet because he's still getting a check. He ain't on COVID. I'm just saying, bro. When he got that job, I was like, and they're like, well, oh yeah, we still fighting. No justice. Right on, no peace, no justice. What was that saying again? No Cobra, no peace.
So yeah, I think this makes I think it's coming with Flores is not going to be able to prove any of the stuff that he's been alleging, and it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad on not only him but on coaches. Black coaches to get their feet in the door.
Flores getting ready for OTAs, bro.
Yeah,
that's what Flores ain't getting ready for no case. Flores getting ready for OTAs. Flores getting ready for whatever they need him to do to get them dudes ready. That's what Flores getting ready for.
All right. Let's go with the Major League Baseball report with ice water. 2 stories out. Robinson Cano, who the Mets got years ago from the Yankees. I was kind of mad that the Yankees got rid of Robinson Cano, but they know a little bit more than I do about baseball and their personnel. And Robinson Cano, ever since he's been with the Mets, going down. And then Trevor Bauer, we didn't cover last week, who was suspended for 2 years for a sexual assault allegation. Floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, Cano, though, I mean, the Mets had to do that because ever since he came over, he really hadn't done anything. And then he got his second PED situation.
Right.
As far as Ted Buster, so you put him back out, and he's not hitting the ball. Okay, you take chances when the guy's hitting the ball. He's older, and they have enough younger players that they're doing well right now. The Mets are, so that's a lot of money on the line. So sometimes you just have to cut bait and move on, have to let it go, and to take playing time from other young players just didn't make a lot of sense. So you take the hit initially on the front end with the salary, but you had to let him go because they're trying to do something special this year. And Cano may be picked up by somebody else, and he may get hot, but I take that risk in letting him go. I think that was important for them to do that. And the Mets are playing pretty good baseball too as well.
Yeah, they are.
So that was a smart move, and do it early, right? You didn't wait till All-Star breaks. Like, look, man, you're not hitting the ball. We could reassign you down here, but hell, we don't need you up top. And use Trevor Bauer. These allegations, man, are crazy as hell, but there had to be some truth to it because they could not jump out there and do what they did, right? There had to be more evidence in it with him having some type of altercation or whatever, an assault with a lady. And then from my understanding, it may not be the first time either. So baseball is like, they already had enough issues with some things going on. They don't need no more distractions. So they're like, you know what? We're going to put this 2-year ban on you. And if you can find a way to come up with some evidence as to why you're not guilty, then we'll work it out. But otherwise, it's what it is. So they just want to get it out of their face because, this is their time. They don't want somebody to come up and going. Trevor Bauer is pitching, and he's pitching for Houston now. And they're banging on the trash cans. Anyway, but just to that standpoint, they had to move forward because this is a brand new season for baseball to make it happen. And as we move forward in the baseball report, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes when you put your money down, it does work for you. Because the Yankees are hot, hot, hot. They won 11 straight. So when you spend all that money, sometimes it works for you. They do what they got to do, even though they cheating, allegedly.
We ain't cheating no more, man. We got caught.
Okay, they ain't cheating no more, right? There you go. So anyway, but they're playing outstanding baseball. And they have really 2 of their guys are really on fire. Aaron Judge has hit 9 home runs. Anthony Rizzo has 9 home runs. I mean, hell, what else you need? You got 18 home runs from 2 dudes. They're playing strong baseball, and they lead the American League East, 18-6. Tampa Bay and Toronto are 3.5 back behind them. But Yankees are hot, 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 man, getting it done. Moving to the AL Central, Minnesota's in first place, 15-9 record. The White Sox are 3 back. Tony La Russa still trying to stay in the hunt. It's very early, of course. AL West, the LA Angels have popped up, man, even though they were barely playing over 500 baseball. Otani's been hurt a little bit. They've been playing pretty well without him. They are 1 game up on the beloved and the hated Houston Astros in that division. Moved over to the NL East. The Mets, we talked about them earlier, have moved on. They broke ties with one of the former superstars. They're 18-9 in first place. Miami, we told you about Miami. Alex Rodriguez leaving. They're only 2 back in that division. Watch out for them. Also watch out for Philadelphia in that division, who's only 3 back. Moving to the NL Central, Milwaukee is the leader in that division. St. Louis is 2 back. Moving to the NL West, the LA Dodgers, the make it and shake it Dodgers. They making money, printing money, buying players, doing all whatever they got to do to stay in first place. And they are in first place right now. Sorry, Pops. But right beside them was the San Diego Padres trying to keep things together. Frisco, San Francisco, Colorado, Arizona are all in striking distance. That division is very close right now. But early start, again, impressed by what the Mets did by cutting bait, with their former veteran. Doesn't make a lot of sense. And when you're in first place, you got things rolling, you don't need a distraction in the clubhouse. So that's where we're at right now.
All right. Black, we're going to questions from the squad. What's your first question, sir?
I want to drop this for you gentlemen real quick. I know I said earlier, and I just came across this. I'm going to send it to you in a little bit. The Athletic, remember I was talking about Jerry Jones held the form up. Mm-hmm. They took a picture of it and they enlarged it, and they have the players that the Cowboys had ranked from 1 to 24. And the first 2 players they had ranked that they wanted to go after, the Giants took them in 15 seconds.
So do you see the Giants saw the card? And then
no, this is after the draft, but they showed the ranking, what the Cowboys want, how they rank their players from like 1 through, I think it was 1 through, if I'm not mistaken, for the first round, and what order they like to go after these certain players. And they showed that the Giants and the Eagles, the defensive players that the Cowboys wanted, the Giants took it way ahead of them. So I got to send this to you, man. But anyway, I came across this today, and I thought this was rather interesting, man. And it kind of makes you wonder a little bit. RG3, to me, is doing an absolute – I know we talked about him a while when he first came on. He said some things that we kind of questioned. But as far as doing his job, that cat is on point for us, I'm concerned. I watched him during the draft. I think he was on ESPN during the draft and doing an excellent job. Well, he was at a charity event, I think, a few days ago, and he ran the 40 very quickly. Now, if he's telling the truth, he said he got calls after people saw his 40, NFL GMs calling him, asking him if he's still interested in playing football. And he said that he would like to. And he named a few teams he would like to come back and play for, Washington being one. He said he wouldn't mind playing for the Cowboys being 2. He dropped in a couple other teams that could probably use a quarterback. So a couple of them could use a quarterback. Now, I don't know if these are teams that reached out and talked to him, but I'm going to get you guys' opinion about possibility, because when you think about it, this cat was the running gun long before what we saw some of these other quarterbacks doing. So what do you think about RG3 coming to a town near you playing quarterback?
Ice?
Man, keep your damn day job. If you was all that, he would still be in the league, right? I'm just saying. I mean, I get it. I mean, maybe he can still play, but how is all of a sudden he got this, because you run a 4.8, right? 4.8 40, and everybody telling you great. Okay, right. But why is he not still in the league? All of these other guys out here that have been struggling, these quarterbacks that have been struggling and have not shown to be great. Marcus Mariota came back, man. Really? And RG3, if you still had it, bro, you mean tell me he just walked away because he wanted to? Nah, he wasn't getting no shots, and when he did get in there, he wasn't doing nothing. He's with Baltimore, you know that with Jackson over there. So if he still had it, he'd still be playing. But all of a sudden, it's like, well, they called me, I still might, man, make up your damn mind. I mean, it's your right to do whatever. I wouldn't touch it, personally. I would not. I mean, I'm going to just say this one time, and I'm going to get off of it, and y'all going to go, If you don't go like that, man, bring in Kaepernick, bruh. What's the difference? What is the difference?
A big difference.
What is it?
Play quarterback.
There's a big difference.
Huh? What? What you say?
Cap is a way better quarterback.
I mean, but my point of it is, if you're going to go get Griffith, why not bring in Kaepernick? That's what I'm saying. If you're going to do that, why not do that? So why would I mess around with him when Kaepernick is right there? I'm just saying, why not do that? If I'm going to take a reach like that, because he ran a 4.8, I'm sure Kaepernick run better than 4.8. If I got a better ball, looking good, in great shape, ready to go. He ain't played, been preserved for 19 years. He ready to go. So if I'm going to take a stretch, I'm going to call the powers that be. Say, look, man, I'm going to have Kaepernick as my reserve and my backup and make it happen. Other than that, just another dude talking, bro. We'll see though.
If they're gonna pay you, bring you in, you might as well, because you really want to be playing football. Commentating is nice. You can fall back on that anytime you want, because he does a great job commentating. But if you still got the legs, you running a 4.48. Hey man, they're paying. They're paying if you run a Black. If you ran a 4.48, I'm gonna be your manager, and you're gonna be on the offensive defensive line next to Sam Donald, and we're gonna make it do what it do. But if you're running a 4.48, if that's true, then NFL teams love speed. So if they're gonna pay you, they're gonna give you a shot. Damn, they gave Tebow a shot. Why not? You know. Yeah. So go in there, see what you can do. Give it this one last try. And if you don't have it, you always have commentating on football, because he does an excellent job commentating on football. And I love to hear him. I love to hear him and his input. He doesn't go with the status quo a lot of times. He goes from a player's perspective. So, you got that, as your backup. They want to pay you some money to come in there and try out. Go for it, Black.
Yeah, I would say if he's telling the truth, and I'm going to take him for his word if they're calling him, and he's only 32, I think he's 32, 33. Yeah, because I will say this, though. I think he should go too, because I don't think what we saw in the Ravens was who he really was. I think he was put in a bad situation with coaching, and I think that's where what's his name is right now, Lamar Jackson. I said it a little while ago. I think that team wasn't set, but if he can put in a situation where he can come off the bench and learn something, because again, he was if he can be back what we thought he could be, he can move. But right now, NFL want a quarterback that's mobile. If you could be mobile, because to me, I think he's just as good as Trubisky right now, even with the layoff. I think he just is. With the layoff, I think he's just as good as Trubisky. So if Trubisky can sit on for a year and they treat him like hot shit, like, we got to have him, everybody wants him, he becomes this, why not? And like you said, you can fall back and come back to commentate. And I think at some point, man, like you said, he's good. I think at some point in commentating, he's going to be the next Tony Romo. He's going to be the next, basically, Aikman, because he's projected to go there, in my opinion, because like you said, he just gives it to you straight, like what a player wants and what we wants to hear, and what we can't basically might be thinking. He gives it to you. So either way, he's going to be fine. But if you get that opportunity and this is what you wanted to do, and it's what you dreamed of doing, and a team is going to bring you in, and have you kind of back up and learn, how could you say no to it? At his age, how could he say no? So yeah, man, good luck either way, man. Good luck. I'm behind him.
All right. Ice, your question?
Yeah. Apparently, the athletic director at The Ohio State University, Gene Smith, was on the show, and they asked him about the current status of the NCAA and particularly with college football. And they asked him how would he improve it. One of the things he mentioned was he would say that they should take college football, remove it from the NCAA, and put it up under the college football playoff as an organization and let them run it. What are your feelings about something like that?
Whoa, Black?
Yeah, I respect him, bro, for coming out and saying it. I totally respect him. It takes a brother to say that, to be honest, because most white men ain't gonna break the code and come on out and speak and be afraid of the backlash. If it's not the college ranked developer board, and yes, I think the NCAA has done a shyster job of running, bro. Let's be honest. They've done a shyster job. And they just basically been living on trying to make money. And yes, I think it's time to be. I don't understand what they have done, what they've done, how a lot of things would improve. What have they done over the years? They come out when there's a lot of smoke, and a lot of times based on who you are, depends what type of smoke they're going to kind of see. So yeah, he's on point. I don't see the need of them anymore. I think college sports has grown in spite of them. It's gotten to the point now, man, bro. I heard some guys, I stumbled upon these guys the other day, these old two white geezers on talking. They hate the transfer portal. Bro, you 60, 75 years, you would hate it. College football has grown. It has, man. It has grown. Sports have grown. These young men should have opportunities to do what they want to do instead of them basically be what you want to be for 4 years so you can sit around with your fat friends on Saturday and drink beers and look at them. Times have moved on, bro. Catch up. And it's time for college football, realistically, to take control of what they put out there on the weekends that people pay attention to, and understand it more and control it better, and work in conjunction with the college athlete. College, they're not pros, but work in conjunction. Stop treating like a piece of meat because we give you a 4-year scholarship. You must do X, Y, Z, and you owe us for 4 years.
I'm going to answer your question about what the NCAA has been doing for all these years, both in college football and basketball. They've been padding their pockets. They've been stealing for years. And now they're finding it hard to do it anymore because they've been exposed. The rules have changed. So I think this is a great idea. And of course, the NCAA is going to fight it. They're going to do anything in their power to try to go against it. But I think this is an excellent idea. The game has changed. The rules have changed. And so the NCAA have been stealing and padding their pockets for years. It's about time that you get these players in situations where they have more options and more opportunities to profit off of what they do instead of the NCAA and the universities. I'm going to throw the universities in that too. Ice?
Yeah, well, when the college football playoff became an entity of its own, where they kind of run their own thing as far as the playoffs and whatnot, because you never really see the NCAA saying, you see that sponsored by the NCAA. No, it's college football playoffs, right? They have their own entity almost to a point where they control the purse strings when it comes to TV, how things are happening like that. So now that they stand alone, they clearly could gather a governing body that can handle college football, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. I mean, you still have the regular season, but when you get into the ball games and the things that matter as far as the real money, they clearly could handle it. And I think a lot of people are so accustomed to the NCAA doing what they have done in the past, they don't think it's possible. But if Gene Smith, who is a well-respected athletic director, has been for years, and he knows what it's like, if he says it and puts it down, it's more than feasible. I'll be interested to see what happens down the line as we move forward.
I got a question for both of you. I'm going to go black with this first. Jacksonville owner discusses Urban Meyer, and he's saying, buyer beware. Anybody want to hire him? He's a tough guy to work with. Your thoughts on the Jacksonville?
I'm not even going to respond to that. You're an idiot for hiring him. You're an idiot for hiring him. And you kept him there for 2 years. He would still be there if he didn't basically do something stupid with the players. Come on, bro. Miss me with that. I mean, that owner, at some point, you signed his paycheck for 2 years. But you gave him what, a 5-year deal? So no, you needed to be weird. Everyone knew you was a vet. So you went around the Rooney Rule. You deserve what you got, bro. Cut that damn mustache. The first thing you need to do. Cut that. You look like a cartoon character. And you seriously, bro. I mean, I that one to me is just so far. It's like, you know what? I won't take no responsibility. Guess what? Your team is taking responsibility because it stinks, and that's where it deserves to be, stinking. Oh, come on, bro. Buyer. Who wants to buy Urban Meyer now? He's damaged goods. So what are you saying? Buyers be weird. No, your ass should have been weird. Learn how to run your freaking football team.
That's what.
Hey, man, look, all I'm saying is there might have been a reason why he never got a shot before on the pro level, right? He was in college, got things done, won some championships. But as you said, for now, the owner to come out and go, oh, he was horrible. And he's so, manipulative, and he made me nervous. And I was intimidated. Man, dude, really? How much money you got there, bro? You can do anything you want. You can hire anybody. You could have hired Bieniemy, anybody. You could hire some other African-American coaches. But heaven forbid, now all of a sudden you get a coach that is mad and don't want to even fly back with his team when they lose. Instead, he want to drive, be comfortable at home in Columbus, leave his team. You ain't never heard of nobody in your whole watching football career. You ain't never heard about a coach leaving his team after a loss and letting them fly home by themselves. If you were that desperate to go to Columbus, he should have caught the plane with them, got off, had a team meeting, flew back on a private plane, then come to Columbus. But out of convenience, he drove there. And now this is the guy you hired. Now you want everybody to feel sorry for you, man. Whatever. Hey, how many more picks do you need? How many number one picks do you need? Maybe you need to just sell the team, bro. Yep. Go on and become a minority owner, whatever you're gonna do. If you can't handle it, let somebody else have it. You say what you want to about Jerry Jones, and he might be putting up some bad stuff as far as you can making crazy notes and seeing what he's doing and being crazy. But when it comes to understanding how to run this damn football team, at least to a point, he understands what it comes down to the money. And if he don't win, he got a damn palace that's making more money and got all the things from Aerosmith to damn anything else you want to do. He making money hand over foot. He may never win another damn Super Bowl, or may never win another Super Bowl, but damn it, his palace is still making money. Now that's a damn businessman. Take some notes, bro.
Don't forget Urban Meyer. He drove too and then fly back because he wanted to go feel some ass too. Now don't forget
that. that kangaroo court is right there, bro.
Whosoever hadn't want to watch or feel some ass, let him throw the first stone.
Black Thor, were you throwing it, bro?
No, I'm just making the point. I ain't throwing no stones. I ain't mad at him for that.
We're all frustrated.
They not like feeling some ass now. Especially after losing a game.
Yeah, after you lose a game and you're frustrated, that's heaven. That's our solace.
It'll make you drive 2 hours to touch that. It's too, allegedly.
Oh, man. The article in Yahoo Sports said, the first incident was hiring the former Iowa coach. That was the first incident. He lost the team. We talked about, go watch our old shows where we talk about this when he lost the team. Bringing in Tim Tebow, really lost the team. Calling the coaches out, talking about they're a bunch of losers. I think I sent a picture over of, you look at our Twitter feed, Instagram feed, him sitting eating pizza at halftime, like, what the hell am I doing? and one, cussing out a kicker. God forbid you cuss out a kicker, and that's all they do is kick. But he did it. He said what I always thought that you should say to kickers. But anyway, it was wrong. And Con, you got 3 guys here that can help you run your team. If you're not going to watch the store, we can watch the store for you. You can hire people to watch the store for you to make sure that you're making good decisions. But I agree with Black. Sell the team. Sell the team. If you're not really serious about doing this, you got a bunch of professionals over there. You're paying a lot of money, and you're going to get to a point where they don't even want to play for this organization, let alone people wanting to coach for this organization. Because, we saw one of the Black potential coaches, Leftwich, who said, I want to be general manager. If I can't, then I'm not coming. He knows. A lot of people know about this organization. So you need to get things in order to be respected in the NFL, because right now you're looking really shady, and you coming out saying this, bad mouthing a former poor employee. You made the decision to bring him in when everybody was saying this may not be a good decision to make, but you did it anyway, thinking that you could, turn some heads and turn this team around, and that was a costly mistake. Last second shot, Ice.
Yeah, I want to start right way here. I'm going to put it out there. Black Thor, something happened remarkable on Saturday night. Something the Knicks haven't done in years. The Madison Square Garden was sold the hell out by 2 women boxers. 19,187 fans packed Madison Square Garden to watch 2 women fight. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. One of the best fights all year. Non-stop action. You say what you want to. It was a bunch of hype going around it. They even were going against the fight between Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson. But these ladies came in rocking, rolling. It was one of the best fights I've seen in a long time. Straight boxing, 2 champions going at one another, and they did not disappoint. I don't know what the hell is going to happen in the rematch, but I do know, again, 19,187 people showed up. The Irish came over. They were singing the songs. They singing Neil Diamond, Pink packing it out. Also, the Latin community came out. Bruh, it was an epic event. These women put it down. Non-stop action. If you haven't seen it, I don't know, you may not like women fighting, but you need to go to YouTube and watch this thing, because you like boxing, you want continuous action, back and forth is what it was. It was a great fight. Happy for them, and kudos for these women for raising their game up and raising attention to their sport.
I still think it was a bad decision. Should have been at least a draw, or Serrano should have won that and taken the belt to Smith. But yeah, it was a great event. It was packed. It was rocking. It was rocking just to see it. Black.
Send me the names, man. I'll be happy to watch it. I will say this though, not who am I to correct you, but the Knicks sell out every game, bro. And that's part of the problem with the Knicks because the owner chooses not to do it because they do sell out every game. But my last second shot is this. I love what MLB did with this pitcher, bro. Forget 6-game suspension, 22 years. Take them away. And that's something to me that needs to start happening across the board in all type of sports. When a man decides to do something when it wouldn't have been appropriate, this is how it should be handled, bro. You should not have the right to make millions and go out there and abuse women. So NFL team, I hope you're paying attention. I hope this opens doors for other leagues to look at because to me, Robert Manfred is not afraid, bro. He's not afraid. People can say he could have done it sooner. 2 years is a long time to take something away from someone that you love doing and earning power. For 2 years, that's a lot. It means something. It's time. That's what we start to do. With these players coming up and they're doing some dumb things, 6 weeks, that's a joke, bro. That's a joke. Take it away in years. Now, you'll think twice when you're earning that type of money about disrespecting the opposite sex.
Yeah. My last second shot goes out to the NFL draft and some of the draftees. How can I say this delicately? Who dresses some of you guys? Take this as a rule. Dress like you're going to church. Now, if you dress that way going to church, I'm afraid of the church you're going to. But some of the family members and the way y'all are dressing, man, some of it is a little suspect. But what are you thinking? You're millions of fans and you're dressing like clowns. Come on, you got to do better than this, man. You got to do better. One guy looked like a mint candy cane. That looked like Patti LaBelle. Come on, man. Do better, man. I don't know who's designing this stuff. You're showing where you come from. Some of y'all real country. And it shows the way y'all dressing. Just a nice, there's one dude who came in, white guy. I would dress like this. He had black slacks, a black shirt, he didn't have a tie, kept it open, nice shoes, went up there, looked sensible, looked great. Rest of y'all, I don't know what's on your mind. Wearing shoes, no socks, the pants way over the Oh, let's do better. Let's do better next year. I challenge you to do better next year.